Paul here, and welcome along everyone. This time I'm going to do probably a little series actually, and I'm going to call it Practical Turning. We all obviously love making the decorative pieces, whether it be bowls, boxes, vases, anything like that. But in reality, most of the things we make for that aren't necessarily for a purpose. So it's more of a fun little project. Like I say, I'm going to probably do 2 or 3 episodes here. And basically yesterday what I've done is, I don't know whether I got some pictures of what it used to be like before, but my wood store that used to be here, I took out yesterday, and I've now built one in the corner of my workshop to save on space, and it goes literally to the whole height of the workshop, so I've got more storage space but taking up less of a footprint in the workshop. But anyway, while I was doing that, obviously having a tidy out, I found lots and lots of my old softwood that I used to use. This is really all about making things for practical use out of old scraps of wood that we'd normally just either throw away or just burn in the fire. So first up, this episode is going to be this bit of 2x2, and I already have 3 things I want to make out of this, which I'll explain in a moment. I also have a bit of offcut of 4x2. I think it was used on my roof joists. So again, there's something to make out of that. And I have a pile here of shiplap boards, which is all the offcuts used for when I did the outside of my workshop. Now, my early days of turning, I used to turn a lot of these. It was cheap, free wood, glued a lot of them together to make things. But this time it's to make something for a reason. So it's practical turning. It's going to be things that are probably going to be used in the workshop. So the first thing I'm going to use is this bit of 2x2. There's 3 things I want to make out of this, and I'm going to probably show some pictures up the corner here of probably the finished items. And my first practical use is knobs. A few months ago I made myself a drawer under my workbench there. First time I'd ever done a mortise and tenon joints. It's reasonable for a first attempt, but the drawer was there for a practical use. And it's a bit of a pain to open, so the first thing I want to do there for that is make myself up a couple of little knobs to open the drawer with. And at the same time as well, the third one I want to do is my workshop door. The only way I can physically shut the door usually is put your finger in the keyhole or use the key to shut the door. So again, it's just to create a large knob that goes onto the door. It's all fair enough having a nice spindle like this, but literally all the knobs have got to be screwed in, and therefore it's no good really putting a screw in end grain because it will not hold. So I'm going to have to probably cut these off in small sections, square sections like that, and then turn them that way so that I've got the foot going through the side grain, so that at least when I put a screw in, it's going to be strong enough to hold. So I'm going to chop this up to size and get over onto the lathe. So I've cut 3 of these up into squares like that. Just found rough centre on there, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to just use hot glue gun just to put a bit on here. Shouldn't need too much, and stick that on there. And give that 2 or 3 minutes just to cool off and set, and then get turning this first one down. Right, so that should have set now, but I'm just going to leave the tail stock up for support while I just get this off the round. Now, we're obviously hitting end grain here now, so you can't use the roughing gouge. So let's just get most of this shaped off first of all, or to round. Right, so we're just going to even this base off. The hole is quite handy actually, because that's where I'm going to need to probably drill a hole, or a small hole for a screw hole anyway. Right, give them that slight dip, because obviously then when at least it pulls onto the surface it's going onto, the edges will always touch. So I'm going to probably take this down a little bit on the width and then shape the top. Right, what I'm going to do, actually on the base here, I'm going to take this down to about 30mm wide. So that's should be fairly easy to mark off here, even this way. Just see where we are. Do it a little bit wider. And if we can keep that as our width. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a small drill bit there. That is basically just a 2.5mm drill bit, and I'm just going to put a pilot hole in there, that sort of length. That way when I put a screw in there, it's not going to split all the wood. Small saw, because if you try and part that off, what will often happen is that the fibres will tear out from the end and you'll be left with a hole. And there you go, it was snapped off anyway. So that can now be sanded down just by hand, and it's the first. Oh, well, that's those two made. Not identical, but they're not far out, so they will do. Well, actually, that'll be ideal for my drawer. So my next thing I'm going to do is use the third piece. This time I'm going to try and leave it as big as possible, because this is going to be more for a door handle. I mean, it would have been nicer had it been probably, I don't know, probably 3x3 or something like that, but I haven't got anything thick enough. So I'm going to clean this up and then re-stick this bit on the glue chuck. Right, so this time I'm going to do it slightly different, because this one is going on my door. I want something as big as possible really, but at the same time I'm going to have to screw it from the top down to the bottom, so therefore I'm actually going to work on the top area first. So I'm going to take the tailstock away, and this time, like I say, work on this top. and have the bottom at this end. And then what we'll do now, again, I'm going to get a bigger drill bit. This one's a 4mm, just to run through there as before, and I'm just holding it in mould grips. It's quite secure in there. Just get an idea to go right down through. Just got to use all of it. Should have just about gone right through. So now I have a hole there, screw in from the top. So I'm going to use my small detail gauge again, so that I can actually get in there. I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm going to sand that all up first before I take the bottom off. Good. So I'm just going to clean that last little bit up, and that's another one done. So that's the first of the series done. There's the first two I made. Not totally identical, but to be honest, they're not that far out. We're only talking a small fraction out. And the third one, which is a bit larger, so at least you've got something to hold on to for closing the door, and just basically made out a bit of 2x2. So the next job was to actually, I suppose, fit these. After all, that's what the whole project is about, so I may well show them in the corner here with them being fitted, or just show them at the end. So hopefully you've enjoyed this first of the mini series. Like I say, something very basic that we probably all could do at some point. If nothing, it's all like good fun, good practice, have a play with the tools, and it's surprising actually how good a finish you do get off of something like pine. And I've got to say, the grain is absolutely amazing. I'm not bothered about finish on there. None of my stuff in here has actually got finishes on it, so it's just there for a practical use, hence a practical series. So if this is your first time here, I do regular project videos, and please do subscribe, because then at least you'll get notified every time I upload a video. For my existing subscribers, again, as always, a big thank you very much for keep coming back. It's most appreciated, and I'd appreciate it if everybody could hit the like button, hit the share button, and please leave some comments below. Perhaps you do this every now and then. Perhaps it's giving you an idea to have a go at something. It's just nice, I think, to make something that's for a practical use. So thanks a lot for watching. Bye.